All right, let's get to number one. The best quarterback in the NFL, according to Chris Sims, is
Josh Allen.
No way.
Yeah, you knew it. It's Josh Allen, and it's Josh Allen right now. It is. Josh Allen, he's an unstoppable force. I think that's the first thing you talk about. When you watch the film and you watch him back, you just go, first off, he does everything awesome. They play and do everything through him. Their defense isn't super talented. They just really are like, hey, we want you to get a lead, and then McDermott can call some crazy defenses and kind of protect against the pass, and we'll win that way. The whole team, everything they play is through Josh Allen. And then Josh Allen just has everything right now. I mean, he's at peak Josh Allen. One, he can be surgical like Joe Burrow. Maybe not quite as good, but it's like just a smidgen below. And then you talk about the playmaking ability. Yeah, I mean, it's right up there with Lamar or Mahomes in that, and maybe better, right? So there's that aspect. And then, of course, then you add in the running and the quarterback design runs and everything he does there. He's just the ultimate weapon, the ultimate quarterback right now. And really, there's no negatives about Josh Allen other than at times he just might try to do too much because he feels like, hey, we're not that good. We're good, but we're not Super Bowl good, and I got to carry us a little bit. And, yeah, they've put too much on him. And, it's a shame how their season ended because he played. I'm watching that game back. I mean, I'm watching the first half against the Broncos, the number one defense in football, and he is shredding them. They can't do anything. They can't stop him. They can't. They can't stop him. But, James Cook fumbles on a drive when they're going down to score. And then, of course, he had that play right before the half where he let, trying to do too much, get the best of him a little bit. And he fumbles and gives the Broncos a cheap score. And that's all anybody talks about. Rather than the fact that, he literally played perfect in the first half other than that fumble. But he's a phenomenal football player. He's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. His arm, of course, is an all-time arm. He's also a passer on top of that who can throw with anticipation and touch and sidearm and do whatever else. He does all of that. He's a great decision maker. I don't know if there's a defensive scheme that can really contain Josh Allen right now because you can play coverage and he'll buy time all day. You can blitz him. He knows where to go with the hot or change the protection. He is as I said to start the talk of Josh Allen. Right now, he is an unstoppable force, and he's the most unstoppable force at the quarterback position in the NFL.
All right, so Mahomes at 4, Lamar at 3, Joe Burrow at number 2, Josh Allen at number 1. Very exciting.
Never easy here. But damn, do we got a lot of damn good quarterbacks. I hope everybody knows that. And, just to wrap up a few thoughts about what I was talking about with Josh Allen and Stu Gotts and all that, in full transparency here, too. Let me just say this. I want to say this because I think, the viewers out there will find this interesting. When I made Lamar number 1 last year, right, I always hear from some people in the NFL. Or then when I see them, I talk to them or blah, blah, blah. I got some pushback last year about, man, I'd take Josh Allen. I'd take Josh Allen. And it's funny. It's sparked a little bit of a thing with me that I was surprised. And I asked a lot of coaches this year, even at the owners meeting. I've asked a lot of people. And I think people would be shocked about how right now, if I ask 10 important people in football who the best quarterback is in the NFL, it's 8 or 9 without hesitation, right? That come out right away. It's Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen. They're just, the thing I get back all the time is just there's no way to defend him right now. You got to just kind of hope he's off his game. And that's kind of what I heard. And I asked a number of defensive coaches, few defensive head coaches, and they just said, yeah, you just got to hope he's not, hitting on all cylinders that day. There's really no thing that can slow him down. Now, there's nothing that much that slows any of these guys down in the top 4. But there has been some thoughts about stopping Lamar and what you can do there at times to slow him down or at least confuse him a little bit. Right now, as I had a defensive coach not long ago tell me, it's just like, yeah, you just got to buckle up with Josh Allen and hope he misses a few throws and maybe tries to do too much. But there's no game plan we can look at to go, oh, we think this really gives him issues. He just, as I talked about, he sees the field so well that he knows where to go if he's blitzed. He knows how to change protections. Like a Mahomes or Lamar or Burrow, he can make a free guy miss and then extend the play. The quarterback design runs are such a huge problem for defenses when you talk about it, because you're worried about stopping all the passes with Josh Allen and you are worried about James Cook. And then all of a sudden they pull some crazy run with Josh Allen and you go, oh my gosh, we just don't have enough people in the right places to stop that on top of it. So that's where he's become a little bit of a different animal. He's become a guy, as I said, and I'll say it for the third time, he's an unstoppable force. He is as good a quarterback when he's playing his best that I've ever seen. And I hope everybody realizes that. And really, Lamar Jackson's right up there in that conversation, and so is Joe Burrow. It's just that we know the public's not going to latch on until there's a few more big playoff wins and a Super Bowl win. But they are first ballot Hall of Fame Super Bowl champion type of quarterbacks. And as we know, you got to have the team a little bit to help you get there at times. And I think we all forget that, especially when it's special talents like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Now, let's take a look at the secondary here, fellas. Veteran cornerback Rasul Douglas remains available despite a productive season in Miami. 31 years old, led the Dolphins in passes defended last year while starting in 13 games. Wilson, what makes the most sense for Douglas?
I'm going to send them to New Orleans. They lost Alontae Taylor in free agency. They have Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's a really good young player, but they do have questions at the other cornerback position where Quincy Riley is currently listed as the starter, the second-year player. I think Rasul Douglas gives you a veteran presence. He's big, he's long, he's physical. You talked about the PBUs last year, and he sort of revitalized his career a few years ago when he came back onto the scene, and he's bounced around a little bit, but he is essentially a gun for hire. You bring him in for a year, see what that defensive back room looks like, and then you go from there. But this team is poised to win the division in part because they have their quarterback and their second-year coach in Kellen Moore, but also because the NFC South is perpetually wide open. So Rasul Douglas headed down to New Orleans to help out that secondary.
Yeah, Ryan, we're on the same wavelength here because I also have Rasul Douglas going to the NFC South. Not New Orleans, though. Instead, I have him going to Tampa Bay. He already got a taste of that no state income tax thing in Miami with the Dolphins, so he's going to stay in Tampa Bay and go to the Buccaneers. I think when you look at Tampa Bay's secondary, they let Jamel Dean walk in free agency this year. They have Zion McCollum there on one side, but when you look at the other side of who's going to be that other starting cornerback, they have a couple young guys, Benjamin Morrison, Jacob Parrish. So they have guys battling for that spot, but I'm not sure they have anyone that Todd Bowles is going to be able to fully trust. So when you're in a situation like that, you bring in Rasul Douglas for 1 year. You have that veteran who can kind of teach those guys, kind of walk them through, make the secondary room better. So I think that's the kind of player you want, and I think Douglas would be a good fit in Tampa Bay.
Listen, everybody keeps talking about giving Josh Allen another weapon, another receiver, another explosive piece, another way to make the offense more dangerous. But Bills Mafia, think about this for a second. What if one of the smartest ways to help Josh Allen has nothing to do with catching touchdowns? What if the answer is getting him the football back? Rasul Douglas would not help Josh Allen by catching touchdowns. He would help Josh Allen by getting the ball back. And I'm telling you right now, that matters in January. That matters against Patrick Mahomes. That matters against Joe Burrow. That matters against Lamar Jackson. That matters against C.J. Stroud. Because in the AFC, one stop can feel like a touchdown. One forced punt can change the whole rhythm of a game. One interception in January can change an entire season. Now let's be clear, this is not a confirmed signing. This is not me saying Buffalo already made the move. This is a possibility, a rumor, a market fit, a conversation. But it is a conversation worth having because Rasul Douglas is not just some random veteran corner. He is smart, he is physical, he has ball skills, he reads quarterbacks, he understands route concepts, and he has the kind of confidence you need when the game gets tight and the quarterback thinks he can sneak one into a window. Buffalo already has Josh Allen. Buffalo already has the star power on offense. But Bills Mafia knows the pain. We have seen games where Josh does everything humanly possible, and the Bills still need one more stop, one more third down win, one more turnover, one more defensive moment where the stadium explodes and the offense gets the ball with a short field. Josh Allen does not need to be Superman every Sunday. That does not mean the offense gets excused. That does not mean the Bills can stop adding weapons. But balance matters. Championship teams do not just score. Championship teams steal possessions. They make quarterbacks uncomfortable. They punish bad throws. They turn pressure into takeaways. And if the pass rush forces a rushed decision, the secondary has to be ready to finish the play. That is where Rasul Douglas makes sense. He is not a savior. He is not going to fix every defensive problem by himself. He is not going to magically erase every concern in the secondary. But as a veteran piece, as a corner who can bring maturity, toughness, communication, and opportunistic playmaking, that is the kind of move smart teams at least consider when they are chasing a Super Bowl window. Because Buffalo needs stops that feel like touchdowns. Imagine a big AFC playoff game. Highmark Stadium is loud, the pass rush finally gets heat, the quarterback has to throw before he wants to, the ball comes out a half-second early, and Rasul Douglas is sitting there, reading it, breaking on it, attacking it. That is not just a defensive play. That is a Josh Allen possession. That is field position. That is momentum. That is pressure shifting to the other sideline. That is how you help your quarterback without putting the ball in his hands. And listen, this has to be smart. The price has to make sense. The role has to be clear. The fit has to be right. Buffalo cannot chase a familiar name just because fans remember the good moments. Brandon Beane has to look at the age, the money, the depth chart, the health, and the plan. If the cost is too high, walk away. If the role is not clear, walk away. But if the number is right, if the locker room fit is right, if the Bills want a veteran corner who understands big moments and can help punish rushed throws, then Rasul Douglas should absolutely be in the conversation. Because this season cannot be all about asking Josh Allen to win shootouts. The Bills need a defense that gives him more chances, cleaner game scripts, shorter fields, and less desperation. They need a secondary that doesn't just survive against elite quarterbacks, but attacks mistakes when those mistakes finally appear. Rasul Douglas would not be the whole answer, but he could be part of the answer. A veteran, physical, intelligent corner who helps Buffalo become more mature, more opportunistic, and more ready for January football. Bills Mafia, I need to hear from you. Should Buffalo look into Rasul Douglas as a veteran boost for the secondary? Would you bring him back if the price makes sense? Drop your take in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe to Buffalo Blitz Report for daily Bills news, rumors, reactions, and everything that matters to this fan base. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.